Hi everyone, Jason here, hope you're well, and today I am in Lisbon, right in the middle of Portugal, and today I have a D7 relocation specialist who is the CEO of VivEurope. If you get a chance to check out VivEurope online, you'll see some excellent content, and you'll see a lot from my friend Victor talking about how excellent the options are available to those looking to move to Portugal through visas such as the D7, such as the D8, and of course, myself, I'm going to cover off how that compares to the golden visa, and hopefully between the two of us, we'll be able to help guide you on which visa route is the best for you and your family, because there are some key differences. And thank you, Victor, for joining me. It is a horrible part of our job, this, isn't it? We're having a horrible time.
Oh, yeah.
I wish we didn't have to come out.
You can look for yourself. Jason, such a pleasure.
What a background as well. What a background.
Yeah.
That's thanks to our cameraman. Perfect location.
True.
So yeah,
Pleasure. Thank you, Jason, being here. I'll do my best to go over the specifics about the D7 visa, and you talking about the golden visa. Hopefully this will be useful for the audience.
Yep.
Ready.
And I'm glad you speak English, Victor, because if we was having to speak this in Portuguese, I wouldn't be doing very well. So let's get stuck in. So yeah, so I'm going to cover some key parts of the golden visa, and myself and Victor often get the same types of questions. We're seeing more demand for people looking to move to Portugal, whether it be for political uncertainty, whether it be to take advantage of the benefits that you get as a Portuguese resident, things like the healthcare system, things like the education system in Europe as well. But there are some key differences between the types of visa to apply for. And like I say, hopefully between the two of us, we can very quickly, within maybe just a few minutes, we could probably guide you on your way as to which one you should be researching moving forward. So I think for me, Victor, when I get asked that question of what type of visa, or I can't decide what visa to go for, the first question above all else for me is first of all, do you plan to live in Portugal full time? And for those that are looking to move to Portugal full time and become tax resident here, then the D7 and the D8 are a very viable option. Wouldn't you say, Victor?
Makes total sense, Jason. Indeed, if you apply for those residency type of visas, you will need to live here. That's really a requirement for the visa. And when I talk about live in Portugal, what I mean is that you won't be able to leave the country for more than 6 months, 6 continuous months actually, or 8 non-continuous months during your period in Portugal. So you will have a 2 years residence period when you apply for the D7 and have the visa granted. During these 2 years, you cannot live for over this time.
Yeah.
While for the golden visa, it's kind of different, the situation, right?
Yeah, well, the golden visa is very much it's kind of like a VIP pass to kind of come and go as you please. And I find my clients not necessarily looking to move to Portugal. In some cases, they've never even been to Portugal, nor do they even plan to come to Portugal,
Yeah.
which is very strange. However, they have the option to live here should they wish to later on. And of course, after 5 years has passed, the treasure at the end of the rainbow, of course, is to apply for citizenship. And whether it be through the D7 route or with the golden visa, to have a passport through Portugal effectively gives you 27 passports all at the same time, because you can then live in any European country. Now, of course, Victor, Portugal is the best part of Europe, I think it's fair to say, but that is just my slightly biased opinion. I did live in Spain for 5 years.
Yeah, I guess both of us, we came from other countries and we are both expats in a way, living in Portugal. And the reason is very clear to me. So just like you, Jason, I did choose Portugal due to many reasons.
Yeah.
And this is one of them for sure.
Indeed, and it's and that's, I suppose, that is the benefit for all visa options. Once 5 years have passed, is that freedom to live in Europe.
Yeah.
But the key decider is whether or not you want to become tax resident during those 5 years.
Exactly.
And as Victor mentioned before, you do have to live here full time to maintain the D7 and the D8. Whereas with the golden visa, the minimum stay is only 2 weeks every 2 years. And what a horrible thing to have to do. You've got to come on a holiday for 2 weeks every 2 years, or more if you wish, but as long as you maintain that minimum stay, then yeah, you maintain the visa and you can apply for that passport in 5 years' time. So yeah, I think it's subjective as to, you know, your personal plans.
Yeah.
But overall, the Golden Visa does offer more flexibility to kind of come and go and not to have to become tax resident in Portugal. So I think I'll take 1 point for that one, Victor.
Fair enough.
Over the D7. However, let's talk about the kind of plus side for the D7. Of course, you don't need to invest 500,000 euros.
You don't.
That's a pretty big plus, isn't it?
It is. I guess I'll have this point because you don't need to have such big of an investment when you apply for the D7. Actually, the requirement is very straightforward. So what you need is passive income. If you can prove that you have at least a 1 Portuguese minimum wage as a passive income on a monthly basis, that nowadays is 870 euros, you have almost everything that is needed to apply for the D7 visa. So yeah, the financial requirement is much less strict if you apply for the D7.
And I suppose more based on income and being able to support yourself is important for the D7. The Golden Visa doesn't have any age restrictions, it doesn't have any income requirements, but it is heavily based on the ability to be able to invest a large sum of capital. Now, the minimum amount of money that you need to get the Golden Visa, as of today's day, is 168,000 euros if you would wish to look to finance an investment of 500,000. You do have the option of a donation to the government of 250,000, or as we mentioned, the option to invest 500,000. So yeah, although there's no investment, so no capital required for the D7, Victor, there is the option to make some good profits, I suppose, with the Golden Visa as well.
Yeah.
Just going for a second point there. I think that was a second point, but
And also, I mean, we've been talking about the D7 visa. This is just one of the residence type of visas that you can apply to. There's also the D8 visa.
Sure.
The main difference is that with the D8, that are mainly focused for those who are digital nomads, they can still work for their employer, for example, that's not based in Portugal. And the financial requirement is a little bit different from the D7. They have to prove that they receive as kind of salary, I would say total income actually, at least 4 Portuguese minimum wage. So, I mean, this is another path for residency in Portugal. But again, it's not that substantial as with the Golden Visa.
yeah, good. All right, super. So other than that, let's talk about the application process for these guys in the background that clearly don't live in Portugal. I would say they're definitely from either Scotland or Ireland, and I've just realised I've offended half of the United Kingdom by saying that. But moving on, what was it talking? Application process. The application process with the Golden Visa requires, again, similar to the D7, Victor, correct me if I'm wrong, but application of tax numbers in Portugal. We need to have a bank account open in Portugal. And I suppose one difference is that the Golden Visa doesn't require you to have an address in Portugal, but again, correct me if I'm wrong, Victor, but you need to have some form of abode to be able to begin the D7?
That's exactly it. For the D7, D8, it is mandatory that you find a place to live. It can be a rental, it can be you buying your own property here, but this accommodation has to take place before you apply for the visa. So there is usually some kind of, let's say challenge for you to find your place here, rent a property or buy a property, and even before you apply for the Golden Visa, because there's usually, I mean,
You mean the D7?
the D7, sorry, exactly. And because, you know, the risks for having a visa denied are low if you have all of the documents well gathered together, but there's always a risk. And when you commit to a 1-year rental or you commit to buying a property, the risk kind of increases So yeah, certainly in accommodation is point for the golden visa.
Well, I suppose it's not a bad thing to have an address in Portugal, is it? But,
No.
but yeah, it can be easy and things can start a little bit faster. But in fairness, Victor, one good thing with the D7 is that you do get a stamp in your passport pretty quick. So for those that can't wait for the golden visa, which
Yeah.
takes longer, I think well, I suppose you tell me, Victor, but it's about 3 months it takes to get that stamp, and then you can kind of set sail for Portugal.
Yeah, usually that's the case. So you will need to gather all of these documents we've mentioned. That usually takes, I would say, roughly 1 month.
Okay.
And then you apply for the D7, D8 visa. You will have to wait for roughly 3 months to have the visa granted. So total of 4 months, let's say like this,
Okay.
until your visa is granted.
Okay. That's definitely 1 point to you.
Okay, I'll get that.
I forget what score on. I think it's something like 7-3 or something like that.
Okay,
But
I'll
yes,
take that.
but it is faster, and I have had some clients who have started the process on a D7 to get that early stamp, but then switched over
Yeah.
to the golden visa later on, so they kind of get that immediate access to Portugal. But when then the golden visa is granted, that kind of requirement to be tax resident here is lifted, and then you can go back to that just minimum 2 weeks
Yeah,
per year.
that makes sense. It's a viable path.
Yeah.
You can move to Portugal right away. I mean, when your visa is granted with the D7. Yeah, I mean, with the golden visa, usually you have to wait for a while until you. I mean, not a while, but I mean, also it's important to point out that this waiting time related to the golden visa. I know this is your topic, but I'll try just to speak.
Go on, I'll let you have a minute.
I mean, it's kind of Portugal is dealing with a backlog of applications because everybody wants to move to Portugal. I mean, we know the reasons why. So Portugal is in this process of making the process work in a better way. So when we say it's 2 years waiting time, this is for today. Hopefully that won't be the case in the near future. It seems that things are being changes for the better. So let's see how it goes with this IMA restructure.
And there has been quite a lot of good news recently. I mean, last 2023 was all bad news for the golden visa. The program was going to close. We had lots of panic. Ultimately, property was removed at the end, and the program stayed open, which was great. But no longer is it possible to invest into property.
Yeah.
But 2024 was all good news on my monthly webinars. It was, good news from the government, whereas AIMA take over from CEF. So we're seeing applications now processed more efficiently. I think it was 2021, Victor, when there was I don't know if you remember, but when the law changed for the type of property that you could buy,
I remember.
there was 3 months where you couldn't upload any applications, wasn't there? And I feel very sorry for those that got caught in that, because there was applications that were lost.
Yeah.
There was people that got sent back to the beginning of the queue, and not nice. But yeah, very very typical. I hope I don't offend anyone again with this, but very cliche Portuguese of the computer not working.
True. I mean, this is the reality. I think now, as I mentioned, things are changing. Even, for example, IMA now has a nice portal, let's say like this, to accommodate those who are waiting for those renewals, for example, the permit renewals. So little by little, we see that Portugal is trying to make the process a little bit easier for those who are applying for visas.
Yeah, which is welcome news, isn't it? And then we had AIMA take over from CEF. We had the announcement as well last year about the government now starting the 5-year clock to citizenship from the date of the visa application, rather than the receipt or also the issuance date. So now, no matter how long it takes to get the visa, there's still a maximum of 5 years before you can apply for the passport. So that was very welcome news as well. And yeah, I think this year now, AIMA have taken on 50% more staff.
True. Not only that, Portugal is kind of in this task force to call for help. So not only Portugal is hiring more people to help with the assistance at IMA, but also lawyers are helping IMA to handle those processes. People from the judiciary system also is helping IMA. So we can see that there's a big task force to handle so many applications that started.
Even the fishermen are coming in.
Even the fishermen. It's nice to see.
Team effort, isn't it?
Exactly. I think, if that's not the priority number one in Portugal, is in top 3 for sure.
Yeah, good. But it's positive, isn't it? It's positive.
It is.
But yeah, there's been just such an increase in demand for people moving to Portugal. The country is just not used to it. I think last year, Victor, Portugal registered the most flights into the country in history. There was, for the first time, 30 million people landed in Portugal. Which is in some ways very exciting for the economy. Clearly, Portugal is in demand, but this does cause some delays from an administrative perspective as well. But all in all, positive news last year, and hopefully that gives everyone a guide on the differences between the two. There's not any other key differences. I don't think that we've missed. The legal costs are similar both ways. Government fees. There is more government fees for the golden visa.
For sure. Yes.
Great. Well, hopefully that was helpful for everyone. And again, feel free to ask if any questions around the different types of visa route that you wish to take. You can get in contact with us directly through the page, and you shall see some contact details below. And we look forward to seeing everyone in Portugal soon. The sun has now gone in, unfortunately, which means it's time to head back to the Algarve for me. And Victor, you're here for one more night, I believe.
I'll be here for one more night. I think for me, I'm better than you in this. I like Algarve, of course, but I think I like Lisbon a little more.
Yeah.
But there's just one point that maybe it's important just to mention, that when you move to Portugal, no matter if it's with the golden visa or the D7 or the D8, you will have some benefits. One of them is that you can use the Portuguese structure, public structure, for yourself. You can use the healthcare here in Portugal, no matter if you apply for the golden visa or the D7. So, you will be living here almost like a Portuguese citizen. So you have almost all benefits.
Apart from you can't vote and you can't run for president.
But
other than that, everything else is the same. Absolutely.
Yeah. So why not?
And you're not going to go far wrong. Like I said, the key difference is working out which type of visa is the most suitable. Either way, you get access to the healthcare system, as Victor was saying, also the European education, a great standard of living. I promise it is as good as it looks, probably better than it looks actually. It's a bit drizzly now, but again, any questions, reach out to us. We're going to keep some further updates, some educational content coming over the next 12 months, and feel free to get in contact. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date, and thank you again to Victor, and I suppose we'll have to come and see you in Porto.
Yes. Next time in Porto.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
For any further information or any questions that you have, you can now log on to www.jsprive.com, where you'll find all the up-to-date news and latest information that you need on moving to Portugal. Thank you much for watching, and we'll speak to you soon.